Mm-hmm.
20 seconds of silence and go.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay.
What are you doing? Okay. And go. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
I'll do an actual intro for this one.
An actual?
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, jeez. Really?
I feel like my throat's all tight.
Glad we got the microphone. Welcome back, everybody, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
All right, so we're doing a little pre-intro here. And that was because, the week, as so often happens, did not go out exactly as I had planned. A lot of that because you went out of town.
I did, kind of suddenly.
Somewhat suddenly, you went on a camping trip with your kids and some friends, and I could not take any time off of work this particular week, so I had to stay behind.
Correcto mundo.
We didn't do a midweek episode.
No, and I felt bad, but I really needed to get away, so I had an opportunity to go camping with friends that were in a beautiful spot, and so I just said, let's do it, and it's almost the end of summer. It was a great end of summer thing to do.
I'm sure everybody understands. But because we didn't do a midweek episode, oh my God, of all the weeks, this was the one where everybody at work was talking about what happened on Game of Thrones last week.
Oh my gosh.
It was, so much internet chatter, the highest rated episode of all time. And,
we missed it.
So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about a few things. I had we have a listener named Josh who sent in some general musings, and I thought we could kind of go through a few of those. Loremaster Kevin, unfortunately, out of town right now himself, but I think we'll still get episode preview text from him, so I'll maybe tack that in right before we begin.
Okay.
Okay, so... So a handful of little comments here. I just want to bounce these off of you. First of all, what the hell does Baelish want from Bran? Lessons on being extra creepy? Who's creepier right now, babe? Baelish or Brandon Stark?
Baelish.
Baelish still out creeps Bran?
Yeah, Bran's just a flake now. He's like
just a
wavy tree. Just swaying in the wind.
But he does have that thing where he's kind of staring right through you and just kind of, talking about you in an
He's like seeing your
way.
Whole history. He's imagining your whole history in his mind while he's talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everybody you will ever fuck, plus the way you're going to die.
He's seen every time you pooped.
Oh, yeah.
He's seen everything. Every time you've masturbated, every time that you've done something shameful, he knows. Bran knows.
Do you think he even cares about the moments where you did something great? Or is
no,
he just focusing on the shame?
He seems to not care. It doesn't make a difference to him because he's seen it all.
And yet, not as creepy as Baelish. Even with you picturing that.
Bran's not
like he's
creepy.
Watching you poop right now.
Hi, Bran.
We always record while you're pooping. Do people know that? Have we talked about that? No. But so you're still giving it to Baelish because he's more actively creepy.
I can't stop picturing that podcasting while I'm pooping.
Okay.
Bran's not creepy. Baelish is creepy because I don't still know what he wants from everybody. And I feel like he is not a real human being. He doesn't have real human feelings.
Baelish?
Right.
Not Bran.
Baelish.
I mean, Bran's barely human himself at this point. But
I think he might be a sociopath or something.
Baelish?
Yes.
At the very least.
But we haven't seen the crazy yet. I think the crazy's coming.
Okay. All right. Poor Podrick has done nothing this season except get his ass kicked repeatedly by Brienne.
He loves it.
True.
He loves it.
But Podrick used to do stuff. He was mostly comic relief. But
he's learning to fight.
Do you think he'll be a badass at some point?
I don't know if he'll be... that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
It would be awesome.
Seeing him come out and just kick everybody's ass.
I hope we're building to that.
That would be great.
There's only so much time in the day, though.
Maybe. I know, but I feel like he's just not...
Bran doesn't really have anything else to do right now. Follow Sansa around, make sure Baelish isn't too creepy, and that's about it.
Guard her chamber pot.
Josh gives props to emotive Arya, an Arya that has some emotions that she's showing. I guess that, she laughs.
At Bran, when she's talking to Bran, or just being home?
I think, just being able to, I guess, smile. She hasn't done a lot of that in a long time, Let's hope she gets to stay a non-robot because Bran is doing a fine job of that. Yeah, well, that's true. But Arya's been kind of robot-like. I didn't really like the conversation she had with Hot Pie. I thought she was a little too...
She was cold.
Cold.
But she was never, great friends with Hot Pie.
No, she bonded with Gendry far more, but they still went through some shit together.
Yeah, but she's been around killing everybody. You kind of lose some feeling. Maybe it's just starting to come back.
I guess.
After she saw the guys in the woods, the Lannisters, and she learned that not everybody in that army is bad, and there are people just doing their duty because they have to.
Yeah.
She's starting to realize she's moving out of that childhood stage where the world just revolves around you, and she's learning other people matter too, maybe.
All right.
That's my guess.
But I do like seeing her laugh too. One of our other listeners, Lionheart, one of the all-time, he writes us a lot. He was said something very similar to me, and I wasn't, you didn't react well when I was saying that I was falling in love with little Arya.
Does he love Arya too?
He was basically saying the same thing.
Ugh, you pedophiles.
She's 20.
So what?
She's only half my age.
She wasn't 20 when we started this show.
No, she was not. But I wasn't 40, so there.
She was so awesome in that fight scene with Brienne.
Oh, yes.
I loved it. She reminded me of like a sneak thief fighter.
Lionheart had a name for that, Arya's wolf stance, he called it.
Ah.
That was him making it up, but I think it describes it fairly well.
Sure.
Ready to pounce.
Ready to pounce, right?
Whether it's a cat or a
quick.
hunting dog. Yeah, either way. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I bet that was fun for her to do those training scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Or the training for that,
Yeah. It's good to be young and fit and skinny. I can't do that.
Small. She's agile because she can duck under their legs and shit.
Well, but the kip up and stuff. Into that awesome stance of hers.
I wish I could do that. You'd love me so much more.
Well, I don't care, if you can do a kip up. Just if you could just kick my ass in a fight, that's
right.
That's kind of awesome in my book.
Well, I can. Maybe.
Unfortunately, I know you're.
I know where to get you. All I have to do is tickle you or something, and you're
That's
done.
Not a fight. That's the intro to a porn.
I play dirty.
Okay. Here's a serious one. Josh says, there has got to be a spy in Daenerys' camp. Has to be. And I would have agreed with him until this whole... they did get the drop on the Lannister army with the dragon and the Dothraki. Right? They weren't prepared for it. They had the ballista, scorpion thing, whatever they're calling it. They had that with them, but apart from that, they were not ready for a fight. But what do you think? They have predicted Daenerys' every move so far.
They didn't predict them coming and attacking Jaime's army there.
Well, that's what I was just saying. So, except for that, now, until this episode with the Dothraki, but they figured out how to beat them at sea, where they were going to be, how to find them.
They're always talking about their little birds and all of that. Maybe it's part of their spy network. They have a spy everywhere.
Yeah, Qyburn has the little birds now.
Who could be the spy?
Well, that would have to be a child.
Could be Tyrion.
Because he's short.
Tyrion would not do that. No
I
way.
don't think
No, it's not
Tyrion would be the spy. I think that's a little too much.
Who could it be? Varys? No.
If it was Varys, then
It could be
nothing
Varys.
about him makes sense anymore.
Maybe he's under Cersei's.
But since the very first, not the first episode, but since episode like 4 of the entire series, he has been working towards returning the Targaryens to power. That's been his secret motive.
Jorah arrived.
Jorah's not with Dany yet.
He's not?
No.
Oh, maybe I just
I mean, it would have to be someone in the inner circles, and some of them are dead now, so it would pretty much have to be either like Tyrion, Varys, or Missandei.
No.
Right.
Not Missandei.
Seems pretty unlikely in all cases, doesn't it?
I would go for Varys, the most likely, out of those 3.
Is there anyone else that's advising her? Grey Worm, I guess, but...
Well, there was... no, not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there was Olenna. She was sort of helping along, but there was Ilaria, not advising, but part of the inner circle briefly. But obviously they're not part of this.
Right.
They're not working for Cersei. So yeah, I mean, Tyrion or Varys, it can't be Missandei.
Okay, so why do they have to know? Why do they have to have a spy there?
I think just because of the way that Euron got the drop on everybody at sea, and then the way that they figured out exactly what the plan was going to be for Casterly Rock.
He knew.
Yeah.
Euron knew that she was coming. I don't know how he knew where they were at sea, or do we know where they were?
Well,
where were they ported?
They were going back and or forth to Sunspear.
I thought they were docked at night somewhere or something. Okay, so all he had to do was travel along that line and find them.
Yeah. And he's really good at what he does, obviously. The Casterly Rock thing, maybe they just figured that Tyrion was with them, so that's probably where they're going to go. Tyrion would know
they
that that's
removed all of their guards or all of their troops and stuff from Casterly Rock to go.
They took the resources out, and then they let Grey Worm take Casterly Rock.
Did they really, though? But because they had all of their army out in the countryside, ready to do what? What were they doing?
On purpose. They were letting Casterly Rock go so that they could go after Olenna.
I mean, maybe it was. Are you sure? Maybe it was just a coincidence. They had to go and take Highgarden because they needed the money right away. So maybe all that timing was coincidence. Well, they knew the war was coming, but
I think it was Jaime telling Olenna what happened, right? Like he said it was part of their plan. And then Euron was waiting to burn Grey Worm's boats. He didn't bother sending his people to land to take Casterly Rock. I don't know why. I mean, it's still a castle.
Maybe Grey Worm's the spy. Nah, he was pretty disappointed at Casterly Rock.
And he wouldn't betray Missandei. I don't know. It's always possible. I think it's a long shot, but Josh isn't the first person I've seen say something about that either. You know, it just seems like they're doing too good of a job of staying ahead of Daenerys and Tyrion and their plans. So, who knows? Maybe.
Could be Davos.
Ooh. God, I hope not. That would suck. Maybe that's why Stannis failed at everything he ever did. Maybe Davos has been a secret agent the whole time and keeps glomming onto the new leader because he wants to be close.
I hate Davos.
What? Now you hate him?
Well, I never really liked him because his speeches are just so overblown.
It's what he does. He's a talker. I like him because I'm a talker. I don't think I'm as good as Davos, but I don't have a scriptwriter. I should get one. John totally drew those cave paintings right before he dragged Dany down there.
Yes. Was that Josh too?
Yeah. John does some of his best work in caves, which is a reference
That's
to
true.
Yeah, sure does.
He does that mount thing.
Right. I've seen a number. There have been memes. People have made little cartoons of like John with some chalk in the walls, like drawing the White Walkers.
That was pretty bad.
They were just too perfect and colorful,
fresh.
And they looked fresh. Yeah.
It was magical crayons that they used.
Here's another one. He says, remember how Drogo's Khalasar was supposedly enough to conquer Westeros on its own? It's nice to know the showrunners finally did. Finally remembered that. Never mind.
I understand.
I think it's true.
I understand. I'm
But
just processing it all.
Daenerys was holding them back because they're foreigners and she didn't want to use them.
Well, I always felt like she
force.
had a different plan for them. I thought she talked about it in the last episode about, I have 100,000 Dothraki or whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, she mentioned that they could ferry them across if they had to. I think the thing was always that, I think Tyrion convinced her of this, so maybe Tyrion's a spy, was that if she used the Khalasar to conquer the land, it wouldn't be as easy to get the love of the people. Right.
And that's true. They would be like, these foreigners came in and kicked our asses, and now they want us to bow to them.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder what her plan for the Dothraki would or will be if and when she takes the Iron Throne, because she can't just leave them in Westeros as a marauding band of rapers. So she would either have to make them put down roots or become maybe like roving horse farmers, ranchers, whatever. They could do that and just not be allowed to rape anyone anymore, or she'd have to send them home. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's really sad is that they're expendable to her. She's probably figuring, I won't have to figure out what to do with that many of them after all of this is over.
That could be. Yeah, she could be figuring that, counting on that even. Mm-hmm. All right. I think you might be right.
They're like her minions.
Jesus fucking Christ, Danny, overkill much? Was it?
On the dragons?
Well, or the dragons, the Dothraki, whatever. We don't really know how many Dothraki she brought. My suspicion is that she only brought a handful, because it does take a while to ferry them back and forth from Dragonstone to the mainland. So I'm thinking she only took maybe a few thousand to go and crush the supply line. But then the dragon, plenty of damage. It did seem like overkill.
She was pissed off.
As well she should be.
Her plan was foiled.
She lost 2 armies already. Either cut off or killed off. In the case, we don't really know what happened with the
Casterly Rock people?
No, well, the Highgarden troops are pretty much dead. They got wiped out. But then over in Sunspear.
Oh, right.
We don't know
where are their troops?
Dorne, the Dornish army. We don't know what happened to the Dornish army. We don't know. I don't think we know if they were actually on the boats yet or not.
We don't know.
But even if they weren't, they're not getting to the mainland now.
Because I think they were on their way back there.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were going to pick up the Dornish troops. It would be harder to take out all those boats if there's a bunch of troops on board.
Right. Well, not really.
Let's see.
Why wasn't anybody watching out? Where are their fucking lookouts?
Well, Euron?
No, Yara's.
Well, yeah. Well, Euron is the storm, right? He brought clouds and thunder and rain with him, so you probably couldn't see him from a distance.
All right.
He has magical storm powers.
Probably just pees, and then it happens.
And then finally, he had one just about Cersei. He said it was great seeing her true to form again with her eye rolling and her wine guzzling and just being like the Cersei we all used to know and love.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess
she got
so.
A little too serious.
I mean, I don't love Cersei as either way, whether she's a sadistic shithead or a goofy wine guzzler, but she was her sassy self again. Probably because she's winning. That's going to put you in a better mood.
Right. Of course.
Of course.
She hasn't lost any children.
Anymore.
She will not. That's out of her.
Man, I wish we would have gotten at least like a 3-second update on the Sand Snakes.
And Septa Unella.
And Unella. I really hope we see her again someday.
I know. I got to see what's happened to her. They have to show it.
Are you going to be like really pissed off if they show it, but it's like on a human centipede level of fucked up?
No.
You'll be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Qyburn's turned her into some kind of flesh monster.
Oh, that would be awesome.
She's got flippers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like the Kevin Smith Walrus movie.
It would be like Tusk. It would be like House of 1,000 Corpses and Human Centipede all rolled up into one. That'd be great. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, yeah, those were the comments from Josh. The episode was so good. There was a guy on my team at work who had not watched it by Tuesday, and I was like, what the fuck? You're a terrible human. But he finally watched it, and then he immediately watched it again, which I've heard from many people, like it's the first episode I had to go watch twice right away. And we kind of did too. We watched Confession. We watched and then we recorded. And then it turned out we didn't record after all. So
right.
We enjoyed some frozen yogurt and watched about half of the episode over again, including the final battle scene. And then we recorded last week's reaction cast. This shall not happen again. I've got it all under control this time. I know why things went wrong.
All right.
Anyway, any thoughts now that we're a week away? We're a week out from that episode now. Episode 5 is just in a few short hours as we're recording this.
So much happened in that episode that I feel like it was even longer ago. I think we need to rewatch it again before we watch tonight.
Oh my gosh! Wow. If we have time, sure.
Or just like major pieces of it.
Okay. If
maybe all of it.
What do you think? What will be the first scene in tonight's episode? Will it start where the battle left off, or will we go to something else first just to fuck with our heads some more?
I think it'll start with where the battle left off. Or maybe Danny back at home. No, Drogon is...
Well, Drogon got hurt, but I don't think it was...
He's speared and grounded, kind of.
But he wasn't really. Like, he almost fell from the sky, but then he recovered and was flapping his wings while blowing fire on Bronn.
Yeah, they got to get that spear out, though.
I'm sure they can. They just need a really big Band-Aid afterwards.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. He can take a swim through the water, clean the wound a little bit.
I think it'll start with the aftermath of that, either with Jaime or with Daenerys. Are they going to capture Jaime?
Well, there you go. So Jaime fell off into the abyss,
right.
Which again, we're not the only ones that noticed that. We're like, what the? But he was on the beach.
Right.
How was he falling so far into the water just because one person pushed him off a horse?
It's metaphorical.
It's all in his head, like he's imagining falling.
Yes, he passed out into the water.
I could accept that explanation. Are they going to capture him?
He's fallen from grace.
Are they going to capture him, or is he going to get away?
I think that he can't die. So they're going to capture him.
Well, I think he'll die.
And then he can't get out of that armor very easily.
Yeah. But
Somebody has to pull him out. Tyrion will.
Tyrion's not going to fish.
He's going to run down there with his little legs. He's going to run.
I think we could have some of the Dothraki guys drag him out. They're pretty strong.
Maybe.
They're probably not very good swimmers, though.
I can't wait to see how deep he was and how he gets out.
Maybe Bronn will get him out, assuming that was Bronn that knocked him off the horse.
Yes. Is that what we assumed?
It probably was.
Because Bronn was right around there.
Yeah, he was nearby. So let's assume if it was Bronn that saved Jaime's life, he's probably going to continue to save his life and get him out of the water. Bronn would probably rather be captured.
And Bronn doesn't wear heavy armor. So was he wearing heavy armor in this?
No, he never wears heavy armor. A little bit of leather and that's it.
So he can dive in.
Yeah.
To that deep, deep water.
I think Bronn will get him out of the water and then he'll be shackled. And maybe that's how we'll start the episode. It's like Jaime in chains again. Because we haven't seen that in years.
Oh gosh. I wonder what Daenerys is going to think of him. Is she going to like him? Is he going to like her? Maybe he'll fall in love with her.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe. You never know.
I hope not. He's got his hands full between his sister and Brienne.
That's right.
I don't think he's going to like her, and I don't think she's going to like him, but I think they could come to a mutual understanding. I mean, he's the guy that killed her dad, ultimately, and he just tried to kill her. But I think if they could actually talk it out, which Jaime is totally capable of at this point, he's not the same level of dick that he was in season 1. If they can sit down and have a talk, they might be able to come to some consensus about how Cersei really should not be queen. Maybe he'll wind up helping her a little bit.
Maybe I mean, he's deep down, he's somewhat of a good guy sometimes.
Yeah.
Occasionally, he's a good guy.
He has a good heart. I mean, he didn't want Olenna to suffer.
True.
Right? He did what he was supposed to do. He did his job, and he does love his sister for better or worse. I mean, whatever it is, he's very loyal. But he still didn't want to be a complete piece of shit about it. He did what had to be done. Mm-hmm. Take out the enemy. So, there's hope for Jaime.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. But I think we'll probably start the episode with that. I think we'll see Jamie in chains, like a loud cut from the credits, like clank clank, and you see his like chains.
So we're not going to be
slammed down.
We're not going to have the satisfaction of having him pulled out of the water.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think we'll see that because whoever made that decision.
Maybe it means something, and we'll find out.
Maybe.
We'll see.
All right.
I hope.
Any other big predictions before we start? I mean, just because we're recording anyway? No? It's really hard to call anything right now.
Right.
Because we don't know what the time frame's going to be.
Right. Have months passed and they've already taken a lot of obsidian from the mountain and they're ready to go? Maybe.
We haven't seen the mining operation. Yeah. All right. Well, we will... we'll have Loremaster Kevin's prediction. We'll put that right here. Loremaster Kevin's prediction for the night. Or not prediction. Loremaster Kevin's single text, non-spoiler comment before our reaction cast. We'll put that in here, and then we're going to watch the show. So we'll talk to you guys afterwards.
All right. I'll hear you soon.
Thanks for the comments, Josh, and of course Lionheart. And if anyone else ever wants to talk to us, please do. Facebook, Twitter, Kid Free Weekend. You know how to find us. I got the Loremaster Kevin single text non-spoiler preview of the evening.
What did he say?
For episode 5, which is titled Eastwatch, by the way. He said 2 words. That's all he texted me.
Okay.
Those 2 words were Westeros Viagra.
Westeros has a hard-on forever.
I don't know. But, if Westeros had a hard-on for more than 4 hours, Westeros should call its doctor. Maybe it's something about Qyburn. Maybe Qyburn has to poke Westeros and let all the blood out. I don't know. What the fuck?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
All right. Well, thank you, Loremaster Kevin, I guess. Let's go watch, huh, babe?
Okay.
All right, here we go. ReactionCast time, everybody, and in sort of a surprise that apparently shouldn't have been a surprise, we have Kevin.
Hello, how's it going?
Kevin says he sent me a text earlier. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, but apparently he was staying up super late tonight, so I might not have needed to use his preview of Westeros Viagra, which I wasn't sure what that was gonna tell us about the episode exactly, but
now we know.
I guess it was really something. Fermented crab meat. Should we try that at home, babe?
Yes.
Yeah, we should? Okay.
Hell yeah.
Wait, why are you so excited about that?
I can't say.
So, Kevin, is this our first reaction cast with you? Because we usually don't make you stay up so late, but...
Well, no, I think I did a couple the first year.
This was your choice, so... Good on you.
Yes, it was mine because you guys need me for some of the lore that happened tonight.
Oh. Let's hear it. Well, let's...
I think we caught the biggest lore, and I hope most people did, coming out of Gilly's mouth, of all people. Yep. Should we start there?
Sure. If you want to start there, we can start there.
Sam's part was, not consequential to the rest of the story, I don't think, so...
Well, he's leaving.
Well, I just mean in terms, it didn't interact with anything else, really.
It did. It interacted with what Danny did at the beginning.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bran said, let's send out a bunch of ravens. All right.
No, what Danny did when she burned his father and his brother.
Oh, that's true. Well, fine. Let's talk about that shit, because I'm kind of pissed off.
Okay,
Why?
Well, where do you want to start?
I'm pissed. What? Braun and Jamie were like a mile down the river, way away from the battle. No one's looking for them. They get to lie on the beach and have a little quiet, intimate moment, and then just walk away.
Well, first off, the first couple things is that river they were in probably has a strong current. The current could have taken him, but
there was no current. There
What
was
if-
still as glass.
He was sinking like a stone.
What if they actually didn't see him go in the river and they thought the dragon got him? I mean, there was a lot of fire there.
What?
So they didn't even know to
they
look
didn't.
for them.
Oh, they think that the dragon got them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
guess
fine.
maybe. Although
You
Tyrion
think
did
Dany's
seek
going to
him
hang
out.
around? She's trying to get the spear out. And so that didn't bother me as much as it bugs a lot of people. It seems that'd be
I
the
would
one
like
thing.
to.
Huh?
Oh, is there a lot of chatter online about that already?
That's everyone's saying lazy writing is grade A bullshit. It's like
It is a little bit lazy.
Well, I don't
okay,
know that
so
it's lazy.
let's break it down real fast, okay? All right.
Break
so
it
what do you
down.
want? What did you want to happen for them to search for Jamie and find him, take him? So how did they get around him not bending the knee then? Because he's not going to bend the knee. So how did they get around that? Do they burn him then?
I don't think they would have. I don't think Dany would have burned him if they had captured Jamie fucking Lannister.
Well,
I
she said
think,
it herself. She said if she gives them a choice, people will take the choice. That's why she burned Randall Tarley in them.
No, I know that, but there's a difference between capturing an army, finding that army's commander, versus capturing the general of the armies and someone who you know is the brother and lover of the queen that you're trying to topple. There's a huge difference there.
She
So I
didn't
think-
care that they had the commander. I mean, it didn't bug her at all. So I don't think they get around him not bending the knee. So I think it's better to let him get away. Because it's even worse if you make this big deal about burning the other men, but say, oh, okay, well, Jamie doesn't bend the knee. No problem.
Well, the reason I was excited for Jamie to be captured was to get a reunion scene between him and Tyrion so they could clear the air a little bit and some stuff. And we kind of got that, but not as much as I was wanting. It didn't have as much oomph as it probably would have if Jamie had been in chains, for instance.
We need him out of chains, though, so we could tell Cersei.
Well, I figured then Cersei goes on some kind of berserk rage, this is it, it's the last straw.
That's not what happened.
What?
So let's talk about what really did happen.
Would you have rather seen like Bronn swimming under the water pulling Jamie or something? I mean, it's just they got away. Let it happen. I mean, we're dealing with.
They should have just chosen a better scene rather than him sinking to the bottom of a deep
River.
water.
I thought that was
And
more
then, I mean,
metaphorical than anything.
There's no
you
way
saw it.
Bronn could have swam with him all that way.
Well, maybe it wasn't Bronn. Maybe it was the current. I'm saying there's other ways it could have happened.
Current.
I mean, we're talking about a show where we watch somebody stick a knife into a wall and hang there from ice. I mean, that's just not realistic either.
That happens all the time.
And the climb.
That's a real world thing. The
Sure, they do that
ice?
like on Mount Everest.
Not holding on with one arm, swinging three people underneath you. No, that's not happening.
Well, only if you have to.
John's very special. He's very strong.
So maybe Bronn's very special.
Maybe it's magic.
Bronn's totally special. I'm not arguing any of that. I'm not going to argue writing. I'm not going to call it weak writing or anything like that. I'm just going to say.
I think it's the lesser of two evils.
I think what it is that they just figured, you know what? Let's just do it this way for the drama, and people will just be like, all right.
Oh, I'm sure they sat in the writers' room and talked about it.
I'm going to try to bridge the gap between angry internet fans and us, because we're press or whatever we are now. And I'll just say it wasn't lazy writing, but it wasn't the writing I wanted. Because I think that's what everyone's really trying to say, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So we can have peace now.
I would have loved it if Tyrion had ran down there and saved him somehow. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
You just want to watch a dwarf run. I'm sure I can find a video of that on YouTube, babe. Just I'll do that after we record, okay?
It's adorable.
It wasn't Tyrion that saved him. Aren't you happy?
I'm happy, but she's not.
She's not. I know she's not. I know she really wanted it.
Okay, so to get into the intersection with Sam, we got to talk about what happened with Dany and Drogon. Okay. All right, so there were burnings. Just two burnings.
Did they deserve to die? What should she have done with these people that wouldn't bend the knee? I don't like it.
Okay. Did they deserve to die? Can I answer that question first? I think
yes. I think she did what she had to do. But what I don't understand is why Randall Tarley wouldn't bend the knee to her, because he used to serve her father. I just don't understand why he would be the person. He's like, no, I'm done with this.
The choice that she was giving them, I don't know. It's like either serve me or die. That's just slavery.
True. I didn't like that part. She's getting a little unhinged.
Well, she responds later. She says you can only do it through a position of power, and that's what she's trying to do.
Yeah, but she used to give people a better choice. It was serve me or, y'all can go.
Yes.
Now it's serve me or my dragon's gonna fucking toast you. Probably eat parts of you later.
I hope so. You wouldn't want to put that good meat to waste.
All that meat, yeah. Okay, but here's...
I had no problem with what she did. I had more problem with Randall Tarley not bending the knee. It makes no sense to me because he used to serve her father. So
No, Kevin, that's not it. The problem is, and if you go to potofthrones.com/shirts sometime this week, you might see something related to this. But Randall Tarley is in the Make Westeros Great Again camp, which means foreigners are not welcome. And that's where he draws the line right now.
Oh, I see.
But he has no problem. He has no problem with Cersei, who blew up the keep. It's just
right. Exactly. She's choosing.
She's a native Westerosian. Well, she grew up there from a child.
Yeah, I mean Daenerys was technically born in Westeros, but didn't spend most of her life there. But Tyrion's an enemy because he's helping these foreign invaders, these barbarians. Mm-hmm. Right? And not that the Dothraki should be portrayed as heroes, because fucking they're still all rapists. But anyway, and Daenerys is basically a foreigner herself. She's she's an invader. She's not a returning leader in his book. She's just a foreign invader. And Cersei has the right kind of steadfastness of her family tree. Mm-hmm. That's all he cares about. It doesn't
matter. He's dead now, so.
Well, I know. Yeah, well, he is dead now.
What are the Dothraki doing right now?
And they killed Dickin, who was becoming a fan favorite quickly.
Yeah, he was so sweet.
He was a good guy. And Tarly was like, bend the knee, you dumbass. Mm-hmm. And Tyrion tried to stop her from killing the whole house.
So here, I'm going to fix the lazy writing for you. What they should have had is, Dickin run after Drogon and get incinerated by him. Then you don't have to worry about it. And Jaime just escaped.
I thought so too. I thought Drogon was going to eat one or the other of those two.
Well, he's talking about last episode too. Instead of Jaime charging at Dany, maybe it should have been Dickin that charged at Dany. Mm. But I mean, I think Jaime's point was good. Oh man, some of the speculation online, guys, we're fans, and I know I want to subscribe to the theory that Varys is a merman, but still, sometimes we're taking this stuff a little too deep. There was a lot of stuff online in the last week about, like, the real reason Jaime charged at Daenerys, and it was like him having these traumatic flashbacks to the Mad King and how he saw the exact same thing and he didn't want to have to go through that again and da. It wasn't that. It was exactly what he said tonight, and I knew that was what he was going to say tonight, which was he just wanted to end the war, and if that was going to cost him his life, so be it. He just wanted to end the war before dragons destroyed everything. It wasn't all about the Mad King. It was just about they're in a terrible spot.
It wasn't all about the Mad King, but he had to see what was going on and thinking that it was going to end the same way.
Well, sure, but he's more trying to protect what's his right now than he is trying to be the Kingslayer a second time. He's not taking any flashbacks or glory from that at this point. He's just trying to do the right thing.
Right, and he's trying to do the right thing for that reason. He doesn't want it to end like that.
I could see how people could say that. The look on his face was just like, big, I mean,
thought it was just very resolute.
I mean, it wasn't
like, this is the only way. She's vulnerable.
Right.
Well, yeah. It wasn't flashbacks. He wasn't sitting. I don't think he was sitting there going.
He saw a way to end the war
just like the Mad
to
King.
Keep people from burning, right. And he did it. He went after it.
Right. That's just in his nature, really.
Right. Yeah.
He's trying to save people.
I gotta tell you something. Like, I have hated Jaime for a very long time.
Now you love him.
I have, because of pushing Bran out of the window. I just don't understand it. But
right.
Everything since then has all been Well, I guess the other thing, he tried killing Brienne along the way, which was kind of terrible too, but everything else
Also
has been
foolish. Good. Okay, well, can you still hate Jaime for trying to push, or for pushing Bran out the window? If
I still think that he pushed her out the window. But that's the only thing other than trying to kill Brienne.
No. I'm saying he did push Bran out the window, and that made a lot of people hate him. That made Jennifer here almost not want to watch the show at all.
Right. Fuck this show.
But when you look at the bigger picture now, Bran needed that to happen as part of his journey to become the Three-Eyed Raven and help save the world in whatever weird way he's doing that.
Right.
So can you still hate Jaime?
Jaime is part of the whole plan.
He's growing on me. All right.
I'm talking about fate, but okay, you don't want to talk about that.
I'm ready for him to get his redemption. I mean, in the book, he has a huge redemption arc, so I'm ready for it to happen now in the show. He hasn't really had it in the show yet.
Why don't we save that for a midweek?
Okay.
Can we do a midweek this week? No one's going to go on any surprise trips, are they?
No.
Babe, you're going to be in town this week?
I don't know, maybe.
Can you check your calendar for me?
I might have travel plans. I'm going on holiday.
Yeah, we can say that for a thing. Let's still recap. Because I want to get to the most important drop in Westeros history.
Right. It was pretty big. So then, if we go from the Tarleys burning, then of course news of that spreads, although I would like to know who was sending that news. Who's informing the Citadel of what happened after the battle?
Who informs all these people?
I don't know. You know what? The Citadel probably has secret wargs watching everything, but they won't admit it.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe in magic. Okay, so then we can then take that up to the Citadel, because the news of the Tarley's death did get there, and they did know that Sam was now an orphan of sorts, although he kind of already was.
He's going to be happy his dad's dead, right?
He's not going to be happy Dickon's dead. He's probably going to be relieved. It's a good thing Sam took that sword.
It really is.
Okay, so they're talking about a letter from Bran, because Bran wants to send ravens everywhere going, the dead are coming, which has already happened, but whatever. Another one, the dead are really coming, guys, I swear. And the Maesters are just chatting about it, and blah, 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 blah. And then Sam has to chime in.
What are they thinking?
Well,
they just don't believe.
I'm sorry?
What?
They just seem not to believe whatsoever.
Well, they were talking bad
so
about the Maester that was there, too. Like, how can the Maester believe him, da-da-da. And then Sam cut in, of course.
Right, so he's like, I knew that guy, and I've seen the dead, which I've already told you. Why don't you guys just listen? Well, he had a good proposal, which was, please tell people, because they'll actually believe you. Please tell people. Please. And they... It sort of reminded me, I don't know if it was something out of, like, Star Wars Episode 1 with all the nonsense political shenanigans, or just more of a real-world parallel, but it was all like, yeah, well, you know... We'll put this in a committee or something.
Right.
We'll establish a subcommittee of fact-finding, starting with a Raven to Winterfell. We'll see what the Maester says again, even though we think he's an idiot. And then we'll start having meetings about whether or not we should tell anybody else.
Yes.
Whew. They are awesome. And then they just set it aside and continued on with their meeting as if it's not really that important.
Here's the thing that people miss. They're like, well, Dany should believe Jon because, you know, there wasn't dragons till she was there, right? Now she has dragons, so she should totally believe Jon about the dead and the Night's King and those things. Well, dragons really aren't that far removed from history. Like, it was like 300 years ago.
And everybody's got their skulls down in their basement.
Right, but the Night's Watch was so long. Not Night's Watch, sorry. The Night's King was so long. The Night King was so long ago that, I mean, it's ancient history. Dragons were, it was kind of like, I put it in these terms, it's kind of like, well, you believe in dinosaurs, so you might as well believe in vampires type of stuff.
Yeah, but aren't the Maesters taking it a little far? I mean, they might as well have just said, like, haha, it's like Snarks and Grumpkins. They're, I don't know. They're taking it a little far, I think.
Well, but, I mean, they talked about a bunch of people that showed up that were, you know, crazy, of course. And there was some book stuff there we could talk about later. But it was silly. Basically what they're saying is this is silly. This is something we hear all the time from people who are coming in, like the guy who's on the side of the road talking about Jesus has talked to him. You know that guy? No one's
we know
believing him. No one's believing him. This is kind of what they're thinking. Like, no one's believing this person that's screaming it from the hilltops, so we hear it all the time.
But that kind of speaks to some of the ultimate short-sightedness, which is, if you take the guy on the corner talking about Jesus as an example, well, when people did that 2,000 years ago, everyone was like, oh, what? He's getting messages from Jesus? We should listen to this guy. And no one wants to listen anymore because everyone thinks they know it all. And that's exactly what the Maesters are doing right now.
Well, at least they're going to give it a chance because of Sam. They're going to send someone up to Winterfell. They're going to talk to this Maester. They're going to do their chant.
Hopefully they will. I mean, I guess they wouldn't lie about it. But maybe they won't bother once they find out that Sam left.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll get their ass kicked by a White Walker.
Well, not for a while. The White Walkers or Whites, or a.k.a. zombies, have to get there first.
Well, I know, but
Citadel's kind of far south.
They'll be heading north.
It'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam goes home that night all fucking angered up. And that's when the biggest reveal in the entire history of the show, I guess, maybe kind of happens, right?
Yes,
and
it
Sam
does.
didn't pay attention.
Is this a bigger reveal than John?
Yes, it's
season?
a bigger reveal because we still thought he was a bastard.
It legitimizes
right?
John. John's not a bastard.
It legitimizes John. John's no longer a bastard. John is the rightful heir
That's fucking
to
true.
the throne.
Which
He
means
would've
Daenerys
jumped
isn't.
Dany. Right, Dany is not. He is.
That's
He's
bad.
the son of Rhaegar, who was the crown prince, and that makes him second in line after Rhaegar.
Dany's going to lose her shit.
Dany might die.
I think Dany's turning to the dark side. But I said that last season. But now I think it more.
What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, you guys have no problem when Cersei blows people up.
I don't have a problem with it.
I'm just saying, I feel like people aren't talking about that as much. So like, oh, when I'm rooting for the Lannisters because Dany's burning people on the battlefield. Dany burned soldiers. Dany burned people who refused to kneel, not people who were entrusting her. People who were sworn fealty to her.
Right. Like Cersei blew up all of the
I see.
all of the sept.
You're saying I'm wrong to think that Dany's turning to the dark side. It's not that. It's not. I mean, burning soldiers is fine. I mean, that's part of battle if you happen to have a dragon.
Fine.
If you have a dragon, burning people on the battlefield is fine.
Okay.
I'm saying the way she won't listen to reason of like, some of these guys could actually be important political pawns and we might need that eventually. Not listening to that stuff, being such a hard liner, is where she starts to look like she might be turning down the dark side.
I mean, she has to make everyone know she's serious, right? I mean, she doesn't want this in the future. She wants everyone to kneel.
Yeah. Well, you got to make an example out of a couple people.
You kill a couple people now so that later on, when you really need them to, they kneel. I mean, Jaime said it best when he was talking about she didn't even come. She pulled her punches. She brought one dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure she didn't bring 100,000 Dothraki. We were talking about that earlier, babe.
No, she didn't bring her full Dothraki. She brought one dragon.
Yep. And Jaime saw something on the battlefield that we didn't really get a great picture of the Dothraki just being so fearsome of a fighting force.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, they kicked ass, don't get me wrong, but they didn't seem... I mean, it was a surprise attack. It wasn't much of the army and so on and so on. I wasn't sure how impressed we should be compared to how impressed we were with Drogon.
I was pretty impressed with them.
I love how they were standing.
The whole scene where they stand on the horses to fire the arrows, that was pretty...
Well, that was badass. Yeah. No question about that.
They were like Indians.
They handle a shield wall.
Native Americans, sorry.
In a damn good way.
Yeah. So they drop the fat, and you know what? And Sam totally ignores it too. So Gilly finds out that there was annulments,
right?
And then Prince Rhaegar married someone else.
Did they say his wife's name?
I don't think she said his wife's name. He said this Prince Rhaegar, Rhaegar, and then married someone else in Dorne.
Secret ceremony.
Yeah,
secret ceremony somewhere in Dorne.
And here's the other thing. People are like, well, how come no one's seen that before? Da, da, da. I mean, they made a point about it. I mean, even Sam was tired of hearing about the guy's bowel movements. They made a point that it was in this collection of notes on someone that no one really would literally go through it. It was just too much. Talking about steps, talking about bowel movements. No one went through his notes.
Yeah,
Because of
that's
that
very
reason,
true.
They made it a very big point that no one went through his notes.
Only Gilly had it in her to read through that dude's whole book.
How come no one knew that? I mean, this is why. Sometimes I feel like people say, "Oh, it's lazy writing," when it's really lazy viewing.
No, I think that part makes perfect sense. There's so many books in the Citadel, and though these guys are supposed to be learning everything, they obviously don't, because they won't acknowledge anything from the magical history of the planet anyway. So,
I mean,
of course they're going to miss some other stuff.
Sam went and cured a grayscale because just followed the notes that were in a book. I mean,
right. Although they knew about those notes, but they refused to keep working on it. Yeah, a bunch of fucking cowards. The Cravens.
They are.
Yeah, they really are.
They seem like they just sit around shitting all day and acting like they're high on their horse.
They do really have a lot of interest in shit.
They do.
It actually makes it kind of surprising that they didn't read that dude's whole book. Remember shit number 865? That was my favorite chapter.
He wasn't there. Nobody was reading his notes.
I guess
but that
not.
was like the biggest drop, and they did it in such a way that if you blink, you missed it type thing. I'm glad you guys caught it. I was afraid you wouldn't.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm sure probably half the people watching Game of Thrones totally missed that because they're not all listening to us, first of all.
It should be. But
if you haven't had extensive, deep dive conversations or listened to podcasts with deep dive conversations about shit like Rhaegar and Lyanna and where all that stuff came from, they don't cover much of it in the show in the first place. So you would probably not even know his name, or barely. And if they say it wrong, like Rhaegar, then you're absolutely going to miss it.
Right. It was a blink if you miss it type moment, and it was probably the biggest drop we've had other than Tower of Joy when we found out John. I mean, even that wasn't that big a drop because people who read the books kind of, and even you guys who didn't even read the books kind of had it.
Well, it's one of the biggest fan theories forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's
and
all
it was
over
a lot
the internet.
backing it up too. So.
Yep. This was
a lot
bigger.
of people said, Targaryens and Dorne could marry more than one person and stuff like that. But annulment and then a marriage, that's pretty big. And they dropped it like it was nothing. Like Gilly's just, oh, hey, listen to this. And Sam ignores it. I'm like, Sam, did you just hear what she just said?
Hey, wait a second. Wait a second.
The true king. What?
Let's go through this one more time. Rhaegar, oh God. Rhaegar was the son of the Mad King, the oldest son, right?
Right.
So Rhaegar's Dany's older brother.
Right. Rhaegar was Dany's older brother. So if he has a kid...
That makes Dany his aunt.
No, well, we already knew that part, but still, he's one more generation down the line. So how come Dany wouldn't still be first in line?
It's always, I think we've gone over this before. It's
I
the
think
way
we have.
The way their succession works is as soon as the firstborn son is born, they are now the next in line. So it's like an uninterrupted line. So before he was born, it would have went Rhaegar, Viserys, Dany. And then the other ones. I'm not going to go through all of them. Okay, so it would have went that way. But as soon as Rhaegar has a legitimized kid, and he had more kids than that. They were killed along with his sister.
Right.
I mean, they were killed along with Oberyn's sister, Elia.
Right, Elia.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. So, anyways, as soon as he had a kid, then it skips down to the next in line type of.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thing.
Fair
so
enough.
you skip over them, especially women. They're going to skip over the women as much as they can.
Fuck you.
It's not Kevin's fault, babe.
I'm just saying.
Kevin would love to have a woman in power, wouldn't you, Kevin?
I love women in power.
There you go.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Jennifer,
so he would be next in line.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. All right, so Sam gets all mad and makes a joke about shits, and then he breaks into the restricted section again. But then he gazes at the globe thingy that's above the library.
He's just saying goodbye to the Citadel. He's all sad.
Well, all right. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation about that globe thingy actually being somehow important to the show. I have not been convinced of that yet.
I don't know if it's important to show, but I do know that this was him saying, hey, I need to get out and see the world like, everyone else out there.
Yeah, well, and how about that line, Kevin? Remember what he said? Baby, remember what he said? On the way out, he said he's tired of...
No.
He's tired about He's tired of reading about the achievements of lesser men. Who else said that?
I thought you said greater men.
Greater men. Sorry. He's tired of reading about the achievements of greater men. Who else has said that exact line? Anyone?
I don't remember.
Jorah.
His dad.
Oh.
When Sam and Gilly had dinner with Daddy Tarly, he accused Sam of going to the Citadel just to read about the achievements of greater men.
Yeah, that is what he said.
Really?
Yep.
Sweet.
Now Sam's buying into it. Sweet or not sweet, I'm not sure. But, I mean, I guess he feels like his dad was right.
Before he found out his dad had been burnt, too, because they never told him.
Right.
Maesters, do they usually come to the Citadel when they're old, and that's when they start studying, or do they come when they're young, like Sam?
I think you'd have to come when you're younger.
So you really don't get to see anything. You just read.
Yes.
That sucks.
You read, and then you make fun of people that try to give you important news about grumpkins that are coming to kill you in the night.
You learn.
Okay.
You read, you learn. You
Right.
poop, you learn.
Yeah.
Are you going to sing a song?
So where do we go next?
I was getting close.
That
I was
the
getting close.
Big, huge drop. Where do we go next?
All right, well, let me look at my notes here. Was there anything left for the battlefield? I don't know. I mean, Bronn said Jaime's not allowed to die.
Dany returning. You can turn about Dany returning.
Oh, well, yes, over in Dragonstone.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything else except for Bronn's stuff about, like, till I get my castle, you're not allowed to die, motherfucker. You're not even allowed to kill yourself. I liked that.
Him returning, Jaime returning and telling Cersei about...
Well, yeah, but that I just want to say one thing about Bronn. I feel like he has a certain similarity in a moment like this to, like, characters I used to enjoy playing in role-playing games back in the day. Someone who's sort of an anti-hero. He's not really a good guy, but in the right circumstances, which I think is what he did tonight, he will dig and find a way to justify doing something heroic. Because it's kind of against his nature, or at least against the nature he wants people to see. So he'll save Jaime and then be like, you can't die, you stupid bitch. I ain't got my castle yet.
That's like Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, it is kind of like Rocket Raccoon. Good call. We just watched Guardians 2 with our kids over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that it's available on home video. Good stuff. Dragonstone, all right. Jon got to pet a dragon. What'd you think of that, babe?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sweet.
It was just like when you meet Sophie for the first time, the Dog of Thrones.
Yeah.
You have to let her sniff your hand first.
And then he almost purred.
Yeah, he kind of did. I thought he was going to, like, rub himself up on Jon.
Roll over.
Ask for a belly rub.
Dany looked at it like, oh my god, what's going on here?
She was surprised.
I thought she was going to take it as a sign of, like, well, I guess this is the guy I should fuck. Once again, it kind of felt like that was coming.
There is some major chemistry between them, and I don't know if it's just because they're two sexy
You're
people,
crazy. There's
or
no
if
chemistry.
there really is.
No.
I think there's chemistry between Dany and almost anyone that she has a good conversation with, but Jon is so sullen. I don't quite see it coming from the other side. He's not quite.
He needs to go
yet.
eat some of that fermented lobster or crab.
Yes.
I don't think he'll be able to perform without that.
A big old plate of dick crab, and he'll be ready to go.
Dick crab.
All right, so where do you want to go next?
I'll call it for now. Yeah, so Drogon, very cute.
Oh, well, they're there, yeah. And
she asked about the knife in the heart.
Right.
He doesn't want to answer it.
What?
The knife in the heart.
Oh, yeah, he does ask about that. And he kind of blows it off.
Yeah.
And he's about to tell her the truth when they get interrupted.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I was very surprised at a certain someone's reaction to Jorah Mormont showing up out of nowhere. Now, Kevin, I'm not sure if it was you I was surprised at your reaction to Jorah showing up, or maybe it was someone else in the room here with me. Please explain yourself, babe.
I was excited that Jorah made it, just because it moves that story along. I don't like him, although he does look better. He's shaved.
He's like half covered in scar tissue, and you're like,
he's wearing nicer clothes. He doesn't have bandages wrapped around his arms. Not that
leopard print scarves.
Wait,
thank you very much.
hold on. Is Jennifer saying she finds him attractive now?
No,
but she was like, "It's Jorah! Oh, Jorah's back! Yay!" I'm like, I'm looking over at her like, "Are you drunk? What the fuck?"
I remember talking about this. This is one of the things where she said he really wasn't that cute.
He's not. I don't think he's attractive.
But not just that. She has hated him from moment one. That was like one of her all-time least favorite characters. All of you that have listened to this show for the last year plus know that. And yet tonight, she's all excited. Somehow, he got into her heartstrings, and he was plucking them like a motherfucker.
Must have been all those scabs he had removed.
Hey,
Have you loved me more since my knee injury when my scabs fell off?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. All right. I mean, I'm glad you were happy, babe. I've never hated Jorah like you've hated Jorah.
He looks better.
He doesn't look like an alcoholic anymore.
No.
Good. All right.
They did a good job.
Well, there you have it, alcoholics of the world. Get a horrible skin disease that will drive you crazy and kill you. And then when they cure that incurable disease, you'll be totally free of alcoholism.
Yes.
All right. We've all learned something tonight.
Gotta get the stone cooties.
How about the rest of Dragonstone, guys? Varys, kind of scared of Daenerys.
He's a little nervous, yeah.
It's the first time we've seen that, I think.
Hello?
What do you make of it, Kevin?
I don't really know what to make of Varys right now, because I'm so used to him like knowing everything that him not is kind of throwing me off.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a spy network anymore, sure, but he was comparing her to the Mad King.
Right, but like I don't know if he's doing that to kind of, I used to Varys would say stuff to kind of get his point across, or to kind of sow the seeds of discontent, I guess. I don't know if he's really scared, or if he's saying he's scared to get under Tyrion's skin and get him thinking, or if he's buying his way out. Yeah.
I still don't know what Varys' end goal is.
It's supposed to be to restore a Targaryen to power.
Right,
but now he's seeing what that does, and he may be having the PTSD that Jaime didn't. He may be thinking, "Oh my God, what did I do?"
Yeah, I feel like it's sort of going down that direction. Again, sort of feeding the fire of me thinking Dany's going to the dark side. But he says there's still hope for her as long as Tyrion can get her to listen. That seems like a long shot.
Well, he kind of did. I mean, Tyrion got her to stop going after Cersei for a little bit to, deal with the dead.
True.
I mean, she's not going after the dead, but I guess they're going to wait for Jon to super speed his little boat back there with a...
They'll be there next Sunday.
With a zombie in the boat. Well, they'd have to be, because there's only 2 fucking episodes left. God damn it.
I love the comment in that scene with Tyrion where he asked him if he read the note, and he says, "It's a sealed note for the King of the North." He's like... So what does it say?
Yeah, that was good.
Nothing good.
That was a really good scene. And it wasn't even my favorite either.
All it was that scroll from Bran saying, "The dead are coming," which everyone knew. Right. But apparently it also mentions Arya.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Arya's
back, Bran back.
Right. Jon is confused. Not again. See, this is why Jon sucks, and this is why Jon doesn't deserve to be fucked, because he's just like, I thought my sister was dead. I thought my brother was dead. Mm-hmm. And then he just goes back to sulking. Like, shouldn't he be happy?
Well, he's come back from the dead himself, so part of him has died. That's what Barrett said.
He's been through some shit, yeah.
Well, I know. I know that's hard on you, Beric Dondarrion, but Beric Dondarrion can still, like, crack a smile and a joke sometimes. Jesus Christ, John.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
maybe
he was
John
already
has
depressed.
changed because of death. This is what people wanted. They're like, John doesn't seem changed at all. Well, maybe he has. Maybe he doesn't love his family like he used to.
He's changed a lot, I think. He's
I think he
definitely
has.
much more mature than he was before. He was always
And boring.
he
Maybe
was
that's
always
maturity.
pissed off about his station in life. You know, he was kind of like, I'm just a bastard.
Well, he's king now.
Yeah, he went from being a bastard to a king all in like 1 year.
He's not even a bastard. Oh,
No.
can you imagine when he finds that out? Do you think he'll crack a smile then?
No, not Jon Snow.
There's so much going on this episode I want to get to. We got to go.
Are you tired, Kevin?
I am.
No, your people are going to stop listening to you. It's 40 minutes in. We haven't got to it yet.
No way. Oh, maybe we are. Okay, fine. All right, so Tyrion comes up with a plan to capture the zombie, which seems kind of crazy.
A little bit crazy.
And they're going
Seems
to
like
bring
Walking Dead-ish.
they're going to bring the zombie to Cersei.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems crazier. I thought they were going to wait to get the zombie into a boat and then smuggle Tyrion and the zombie to King's Landing. But
In a
that's,
bag.
like a bag of a fucking angry zombie. That's not what happened.
So they
But that's
turn
what
to
I
the
thought
only
it was gonna
person
be.
who is known to be a really good smuggler.
Right? He could
him-
smuggle him
get him
in,
there.
but he's no good in a fight.
So he smuggles Davos in. And,
Davos smuggles Tyrion in.
Tyrion says, last time I was here, I killed my father. And Davos says, last time I was here, you killed my sons.
Right. That was hilarious.
Hilarious.
It was.
Hilarious.
It was comedy.
Sunnaside. Well, whatever that's called.
He also had the best line of the night where he goes to Gendry, finds Gendry, and what does he tell him?
Been looking all over for you?
I thought you were still rowing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. That
I
was
thought
a
you'd
good
still
joke.
be rowing.
That's just fan service right there.
That was fan service.
That's nothing but fan service.
No, that's
Which
it. That's
is-
nothing but fan
I don't.
service.
Have we ever had a fan service line like that in the show before?
We had that one.
I think that's the first. I think that's the first time they made an in joke for like Reddit, basically.
I'm sure they've had other ones, and I will remember them after we hang up this call. But
All
that
right.
was the
Well,
first
we can
one.
talk about that later in the week, I guess. All right. Well, let's zip over to King's Landing. There was a scene first before we get to Tyrion. Jaime tells Cersei that they can't win the fucking war, and he also
Right.
tells Cersei that Olenna killed Joffrey.
And she doesn't believe him. Then he explains why he believed her.
Right? Marjorie marrying Tommen would certainly be better.
Right.
I agree, yes.
No argument there.
Joffrey didn't
So-
need it to die.
Then Cersei points out that she knows he gave her the poison.
Well, of course, but they had agreed to that. It was just
No, I don't think Cersei agreed to that. I think Jaime did that all on his own.
He said, not that he had no reason to lie to Olenna about it, and he told her that he talked Cersei out of the torture.
I think Cersei
No, I
said
don't think
something
that-
about that tonight too. I think Cersei said something like, "I wish I wouldn't have let you talk me into the easy poison" or something like
Did
that. I wish
she?
I wouldn't have
No,
listened
I
to you.
don't
I
think
think she did. I think she said
She
that.
mentioned giving the poison.
She just mentioned that he did it. That poison that you
Right.
gave her is what she says.
Yeah, well, she
could be
wishes
wrong. I
that she
gotta-
would have had Olenna die screaming.
Yeah.
And then the
I
next thing
think-
that happens in King's Landing, Tyrion arrives. Oh, sorry, what?
Right. Tyrion arrives and they have the underground meeting.
Yeah, very short. So I got the scene I wanted, kinda, but much shorter than I expected. Didn't have the same punch without Jaime being in chains. That was the image in my head.
Right. And then
but they're in the
Jaime
crypts.
goes back up to Cersei
Blah, blah,
to tell her what happened.
Was there anything important out of that meeting? Not really, I guess.
I don't.
They
the
talked
meeting
about
between
Tywin
Jaime
for
and
a sec.
Cersei?
Tyrion.
No, the meeting between Tyrion and Jaime.
Oh,
I'm trying to think
other
if
than
there's
just setting up.
Yeah. Dany has a request. Doesn't involve
Yeah,
bending the knee yet. They can end the war, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, Davos finds motherfucking Gendry. Or Gendry, as it turns out.
Gendry.
They
Yep.
both said Gendry tonight. Davos said Gendry, and Gendry said Gendry. So I'm going to try to say Gendry a lot now, so I stop saying Gendry.
I'm gonna say Gendry.
Gendry sounds better.
Yeah, well, I agree.
All right, so Gendry is the bastard of Robert Baratheon. right?
Yes. In case anyone doesn't remember him.
Right. But when Robert fought, he always fought with the axe.
A giant hammer. Yep.
Right. The big hammer. That's how he killed Rhaegar.
It's in the blood, I guess.
Right. So him picking up that axe was also kind of, book service, I guess. Hammer.
It's like 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. where you are. It's okay, Kevin.
Hammer. I know it's the hammer.
It was pretty cool, and I loved how Gendry was so matter-of-fact about just leaving, like, yeah, I've been waiting for this shit. Let's go. Davos is ready to make one of his speeches, and he didn't have to.
He didn't have to make it.
He's like, darn, I didn't get to say all that stuff I
had lines prepared. Why isn't anyone one? We get to see a smuggling bride scene.
So just stop.
Yeah. You got your sail. Take my hammer. They get back down to the shore. We see the smuggling bribes and, of course, the fermented crab. Davos continuing to be super slick. Says crab makes your dick get hard.
fermented.
The fermented crab can make you get hard. It's the Westeros Viagra.
Westerosi Viagra. Tyrion shows up and screws up the whole thing because they recognize the dwarf with the scar on his face. But then we get to see Gendry wield that hammer. It was pretty impressive.
Oh my gosh. They smashed the fuck out of that guy's face.
Yeah. I think the other guy got it to like the side of the head. But of course, they had to show us the face. That was real quality effects work right there. Like, we don't want to waste it. So let's get one shot of the face instead of just the quick flash. Let's just make sure it's on camera. We got to be proud of this moment, boys.
We should post that for people.
Get that picture there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to leave King's Landing and go to where Jon and Gendry meet, or do you want to talk about King's Landing, the end of that first?
There's only one part of King's Landing left, and that's Jaime talking with Cersei again.
Right.
And it all went by so fast, I didn't even pick up on the pregnancy thing right away, but Jennifer did. Maybe
Cersei telling him she's pregnant.
Well, she said, like, okay, so we'll go meet Daenerys, and we're going to do it Dad's way, and we're going to win, and we're going to crush our enemies, and then all of a sudden they were kissing because she's pregnant. So I missed a line in there somewhere.
She basically said, we're going to leave something for our kid in so many...
Oh, I see. That's why
like,
they have to win.
What do you mean? She's like, kind of giving a look, and she's like, and
she rubbed her belly, and she's like,
what are people going to say?
And then, she was rubbing her vagina.
She lifted her legs up in the air and was like, you put baby here. Oh, God, that sucks, man, because now Jaime's not going to get a redemption, because now he's fighting for his son.
Oh, damn it.
His next heir.
Cersei.
That's the end of Jaime.
She disgusts me.
Jaime's done. He's done now.
Yep.
He's probably going to die next episode.
Maybe he'll want a better world for his child.
I'm sure he does. But
and
he's
maybe
happy.
He'll kill Cersei.
He's having a moment of happiness. Jaime's not allowed to have moments of happiness, everybody. We all know this. Jaime's going to die next episode. I'm sorry.
Next episode?
Next episode.
Okay.
You've heard it here first.
I don't think we've even seen King's Landing next episode.
Well, we didn't watch the next time on, so I'm sorry.
I'm saying I don't think we do. I just think like you have. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. We have stuff happening at Winterfell. We have the stuff going on beyond the wall, and I don't think we're gonna have time for Winterfell. I mean, for King's Landing.
Well, I guess we're not going to see Jaime again until Jaime and Cersei go to meet Daenerys in the bag full of zombie.
Yeah, probably not.
So that's more of an episode 7 thing. All right, so you could be right. Fine. Jaime will die at the end of the season. You heard it here first. And I'm sorry for all of you that love him.
And see, I'm just starting to like him, so that would make sense.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Jaime has a moment of well, that means Jorah's dead too, because Jennifer finally approves of him. Yeah. He will not return from the north. You heard it here first.
Just like his dad.
Yes, he will die in the north. That's a good point. Just like his father, he'll die in the north. Probably not, I don't think the Hound is going to stab him in the back. It's not going to be the same fate.
What if he becomes a zombie? Maybe the Hound will stab him in the back.
Probably not before Beric lights him on fire. Poor Jorah. They could.
All right,
I figured it out. This is the best way that Jorah can serve Dany. They're not even going to meet the zombie army. They're just going to step 10 feet out of the wall. Beric Dondarrion's going to stab Jorah in the guts. They're going to tie him up, wait for him to come back as a zombie, and then take him south of the wall.
There you
That's
go.
all they really need to do. Why does it have to be Jorah? Can't it be somebody else that's less valuable?
Oh, now you want to protect Jorah? You want to save his life now, do you? Huh? He has one day of sobriety, and you're like, I love him so much.
Oh my gosh, it's my life.
His babies.
That's the way my whole life has gone.
We haven't even talked about that group forming yet.
True enough. We have not talked about that. That was the last scene. Anything before that we haven't talked about? Oh, Gendry getting to Jon.
Gendry and Jon meeting, and
then all the stuff in Winterfell.
Gendry's the bastard of Robert, and everyone thinks Jon's the bastard of Ned. So you got that going, which is awesome.
Well, they're like bastard bros.
Yeah.
What's Gendry's last name if he's a bastard in King's Landing?
Well, he was not legitimized, so he's not. He was never legitimized, so he wouldn't have a last name.
Well, right, but wouldn't he be? Are you saying that only highborn bastards have those bastard names? Oh,
right.
I thought it was anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he has to be. He would have the name if his father had acknowledged him.
Acknowledged him, sure.
He was never acknowledged as being a bastard, so he wouldn't have any name, but it would be Rivers.
All right. Well, Gendry introduces himself to Jon, which Davos didn't want him to do, but he did it anyway. So that was funny. And then they just bond, have a couple bro moments. They did sort of a chest bump thing. And then Gendry's going north, and he's good with a hammer, so all is well, I guess.
Yeah, I just loved the whole entire little meet. That was just awesome.
And then there's this heartfelt goodbyes, of course. Tyrion wishes Jorah well, gives him the coin with sentimental value, and Jon stares deep into Daenerys' eyes and wishes her well in the wars to come.
I'm sorry. Let's go back. You said Rivers, didn't you? You said Gendry? You said Gendry would be Rivers?
I don't know. Maybe it's not Rivers.
Waters. It'd be Waters.
Fine.
Waters.
I have not memorized all my bastard names.
Yeah, sorry.
All
right.
But he's not that anyway. That's it. Jon wishes Dany well and shakes her hand. And,
all right, go on.
Oh, Jorah kissed Daenerys' hand.
Oh, yes. He would have done much more if he was alone.
And Jon was just like, see you later, lady. I'm out. Peace, yo.
Do you think Jorah and Dany are going to get together?
Do you? You were like, ew.
It is gross.
That's where you lost all the sparkle in your eyes of Jorah being back. I was thinking about like Daenerys riding him and just all his scar tissue everywhere, and that's when you were done with it.
He's just like a father figure.
I think her distaste for Jon and Dany is trying to make her find anyone else for Dany.
Jon? Wait, Jorah? Who?
No. Jennifer, doesn't want Dany and Jon to get together, so she's okay with anyone else getting with him, including Jorah. Getting with Dany, including Jorah.
It should be Dany and Varys. There we go. That's the ultimate power couple right there.
I wouldn't mind if Jon and Dany got together. That would be
fire and water because he's a merman.
That would be okay. I just don't think that that's going to happen.
Well, it's not looking like it because Jon just doesn't like that stuff anymore.
Right. There is no romantic connection.
So they go to Eastwatch by the sea. Winterfell.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do Winterfell?
Let's do Winterfell real fast.
Winterfell? Arya?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Arya's watching Littlefinger, but I feel like Littlefinger was planning that whole thing.
He was planting.
It seemed like it. I don't know if he saw the first part.
He was trying to build. Discontent between Sansa and Arya. But see, here's
which
the
is
thing.
Totally going to work.
No, it's not going to work. I think Sansa's totally too far ahead of it. I think Sansa is planning this whole thing. She's got to have her. I'm telling you, I do not think. I think Sansa knows what's going on, and she knows Littlefinger is going to try to betray her. And she told Arya what was going to happen. Like, he's going to pull something.
Oh, you think off film, they had a little conversation that we're not supposed to know about, where she told Arya, Littlefinger needs to be watched or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if so, that would explain the awkward conversation between Sansa and Arya, because it seemed a little overdone. Like Arya's being a real cunt to Sansa all of a sudden.
Well, why would she do that in private?
Well, maybe they think Baelish has ears.
No.
They think Baelish. I mean, she doesn't trust Baelish, and Bran doesn't trust. I mean, you have Bran who knows what's going on. Arya also knows.
Right? Why don't they just ask Bran?
Arya knows Littlefinger was on Tywin's side, because she was his cupbearer when Littlefinger showed up to Harrenhal.
True. She did see Baelish at Harrenhal. That's a good point. That's got to drive the book readers crazy, like
That's
yourself.
True. That's true. But, I mean, it happened in the show. I remember that.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah.
So.
Maybe they did ask Bran. I mean, they must have had some kind of conversation over dinner. I mean, Bran still has to eat, right?
Maybe. I seriously don't think Littlefinger makes it to the end of the season. I just have this feeling he doesn't make it.
All right. I'm going to miss him.
He's trying to pull the same shit he pulled in King's Landing by sowing discontent, and it's going to backfire on him.
I hope so.
He should have been out of there. As soon as he realized that Bran knew more than he should have, if Littlefinger was smart, he would have left. But he thinks he's too smart.
I definitely agree with you on. Yeah, absolutely.
He thinks he is smarter than them, is what it is, and is going to kill him.
Well, he probably is smarter than them, but he's not smarter than the omniscient being that is now in charge of the universe. Okay. Well, yeah. I hope there could be a little reveal there. Maybe the three of them confront Baelish. I mean, Bran would be looking totally bored, of course, but they have to have him there in his wheelchair saying, like, he told us everything. And Bran's like, yes, I told them what a creep you are. I told them what you think about when you stroke it.
Ew.
But Arya and Sansa taking Baelish down at the end of the season.
That'd be sweet.
It would be a pretty cool girl power moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's all about girl power right
happen. Now. I don't know if it's gonna be them taking him down. Maybe Jon returns with the Hound, and the Hound's like, "Hey, this is the guy that betrayed your father," and Jon takes his. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be too. Baelish is gonna get himself cornered soon.
He doesn't make it. I know. I just.
We'll see.
Littlefingers. There's no place in the world anymore for people like Littlefinger.
Yeah, maybe not, but it's hard for me to agree with you because, of course, he's been my dark horse for the end game throne for a long time now, and I don't want that to be wrong. Well, all right, we got 2 episodes left. God damn it. I guess that was about it. I mean, it was the scroll. I took a moment. We paused the screen, as I'm sure most people did. We paused the screen to read what that was, and then Jennifer and I had a little side conversation. Yeah,
that was
from
the
season
note
1
that Sansa sent after the the Maester got and said that this is Sansa's writing but Cersei's words, and it was about telling Robb to come bend his knee for Cersei.
Right. Back to season 1, which is it's good to have those kind of callbacks.
So then we get the Westeros Suicide Squad.
I like that. Westeros Suicide Squad.
So we got the Magnificent Seven. You got Beric, Dondarrion, Tormund. Hey, did you guys catch that Tormund asked about Brienne? Did you guys see that?
Yes, something about the big woman.
I remember there was another fan service line tonight, and it was when Sansa was talking to Arya about they're not ghosts, they're not going to wait for Jon loyally.
Oh yeah, because everyone's been wondering where Ghost is.
Yeah, everyone's always wondering where Ghost is. Yep.
Yeah, I did notice that, and I was like, yeah, why not fire the Ghost? And why don't they show him? I was still thinking that even when she was saying that line.
Yeah. So you got Beric Dondarrion, you got Tormund, who asked about Brienne, of course, Jon Snow, or Jon Targaryen.
We could.
Yeah, you got Jorah, you got the Hound, and Thoros of Myr, and Gendry. So you got them going out there. That's like the group you wanted that you didn't even know you want together that got together.
Yeah, that's a badass group.
It really is a lot of good fighters in there.
As adventuring parties go, you've got fighters and sneaks and a cleric that can heal you. It's about as good as you could ask for. A pretty well balanced group. Yeah,
it is. You got your DPS. You got yourself some tanks with the Hound.
Right. I mean, you really don't have a lot of thieving power, but the undead aren't going to fall prey to much in the sneak attack range anyway.
You got your fire sword. We all know undead is weak against fire.
Right? Of course.
Right. So that's a pretty good party to go out there. That's like the A-team we got going on.
But how do you find just one?
You stab Jorah in the guts, wait for him to come back as a blue-eyed zombie. I'm telling you, it's the best plan, and I really wish that they would just get right to it.
I bet Benjen's going to show up.
Oh, Benjen will make a good one.
Maybe they'll bring Benjen back.
Maybe. Then you go get your 8, you know?
That's going to be bad for Benjen, because if they just try to bring him through the gate, he's probably going to explode.
He'll melt.
They got to take him around, like what the actual Night's King army is going to do.
Yeah.
So we think.
We'll see.
But that group getting together is like a group you didn't really know you wanted to get together. Now that they're together, you're like, let's just see it already.
Mm-hmm.
Who has a better claim to the throne right now, Jon or Gendry?
Jon.
Gendry's
still a bastard.
Yeah,
but the Targaryens
Jon's
weren't
part
in.
Of the, yeah,
they weren't in power.
They're not the current seat of power, so they really don't have a claim.
Bastards don't really have claims unless they're legitimized.
All right.
You're right. Baratheons still have the claim.
But he's not really a Baratheon.
Well, he could be if the King of the North legitimized him. How about that? There we go. We'll have that in 2 episodes. You heard it here first. I'm going too far now. I know. Yeah, is there anything else to say there? I mean, Gendry had a nice moment where he remembered the Brotherhood, so it's cool that we have the continuity police putting all that stuff together and being like, well, if we drop these guys in the same room, they should hate each other, at least for a moment. But Jon had a very good point.
We're all on the same side.
We're all on the same side.
No, that's Bran.
Sorry. We're all on the same side. We're breathing. Yeah.
Right.
We're breathing.
Right.
Uh-huh.
We're breathing.
True.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's been his point the whole time. Whew, and that was the
it?
Episode. That was the episode, yeah.
Now, this episode wasn't as epic as the last one.
It had the humongous reveal, but they fucking
though.
passed right over it. What?
He liked it.
I like
Well,
this
it was
episode a lot.
it was a fine episode, and it's moving things along, but it didn't leave you going like, oh my fucking god, like last episode did.
Well,
Yeah, but I'm
you
sure
can't have that every
the next
time.
one's going to have to. Like, this
Well,
is
the second to last episode of the season.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Has
Like,
always
next
been
episode's
big.
like what normal season 9, what normal episode 9 is of each season is next episode.
Right. It's going to be a cliffhanger.
You have lineage of things like the Battle of the Bastards and the Battle of Castle Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were episode 9 episodes.
And the Battle on the Wall was in episode 9.
Well, since you're here, Kevin, what is next episode called? We haven't watched the preview, and we're probably not gonna. What's the episode called?
I don't know. I didn't watch the
What the
preview.
fuck, Loremaster?
He didn't watch it.
How am I supposed to know what the episode is named?
Oh, you're gonna make me look it up. No, I'm gonna look it up for you, Kevin. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do all the work as usual.
All the work as usual. I'm sorry.
I only have one hand I can type with right now.
What else? What are you doing with your other hand?
Holding a shitty little microphone because our microphones were stolen at San Diego Comic-Con. Thanks for rubbing salt in the wound, Kevin.
It actually didn't say there. Let's see where it says.
This is you stayed up late to hang out with us, so I'm just going to verbally punish you because I'm a jerk.
It doesn't say.
Almost there.
I wish Jamie and the Hound had been at Comic-Con. That would have been better.
It doesn't say. God damn it.
And Tyrion.
Yeah, well, it would have been great if any of those guys were at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Jerks.
They're
Maybe
too
next
old
year.
for that.
Maybe next year. Next
Okay,
year's the
well,
big
let's
last season. Yeah. Let's wrap it up. All right.
Please.
All right. Final thoughts,
Are you
babe,
tired?
besides
Are
being
you that
sleepy?
tired?
I have to go to work.
I have
It's
to go to
4
work.
a.m. where I am.
You don't have to go to work.
That's true.
You probably have to go test your son with his diabetes.
Yeah, I have to go do that too.
So we should give Jennifer a diabetes break. So let's continue this in a few days.
Yeah.
Okay? And
Let's do that.
Thanks for staying up late, Kevin. This was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Probably
I'm
not
not
going to
really
happen
sure.
again this season.
Unless something major happens, but probably.
So major that you're like wetting yourself and you can't go to sleep. Yeah.
I almost stayed up
Well, that's very
last week
possible.
because of how awesome that episode was.
Oh, it was good.
We could do
I
next
probably
week
watched
earlier.
that. I probably watched that battle scene a couple times.
Kevin, when you listen to this episode, I'm sure you will, tomorrow, you'll hear our cold open, our little introduction, and you'll be very glad when you hear that you did not stay up to talk to us last week. That's all I'm going to say right now. I'll leave you to figure that out, and you can listen later.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then until midweek, because we're actually going to do it this time, I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Kevin.
Kevin! All right. I honestly, I'm too tired right now to have anything fun to say, so fuck it. Fuck it.
Good night.
Knife to the guts. Fuck it. We're all going to die. We're breathing. We're breathing. We're breathing.
Good night, Kevin.
Breathing. Good night.
Good night.